Greetings, Earthlings.
Warning, the following program contains strong black first opinion about mature and strong subject matter that affects black America and the diaspora as a whole. Listen at your own risk, you sissies.
Grand Rising All, you are listening to the one and only Be One or None. Good morning from Africatown, Los Angeles.
Okay, Grand Rising, everyone. So we are in here, we are in the house, and of course, we have to talk about the topic, the Venezuelan president that was so-called captured, kidnapped, or whatever you want to call it by the Trump administration. Um, and don't forget that back in the days, I don't know what is Lynn on here. Grand
You back
Rising,
in?
Lynn. Yeah.
Grand Rising. Yep, I'm here.
Don't forget that
Peace,
even
peace,
though
peace.
Trump went and grabbed him, that Obama actually obliterated or got his people. He linked up with NATO and got rid of Gaddafi. But we got the crew in the house. We got Kathy B. We got Mind Games Uncut. We got
What it
Pablo,
do? What it do?
and we have Black
Uh-huh.
Love.
Hello,
so,
people.
so before I put my spin on it, I put my spin on it because what happened? Lynn dropped out. I put my spin on this and saying, how does the Venezuelan Nicolás Maduro, or however you say it, the war on drugs and black incarceration, how is that all linked together? So I'm gonna let my games. You came up with the topic for us to talk about this today. So what is your take on the whole thing with the president being swiped up
What?
by
Oh,
Suge
yeah.
Knight? I mean Suge Trump, because Trump running the country like Suge Knight ran Death Row
Hell yeah.
Records.
Exactly. Talk about the hell with. I was telling I was saying earlier when you was out that they actually had I think they had a bounty for him.
I can't
Even
hear
when
you.
oh, can you hear me? Hold on. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Can
you're
y'all hear me?
fine. You're fine.
Okay. So basically, I heard that no, they always had a bounty for him for his arrest. Like they've been want to get him for a while, even with the Biden administration. So Trump is basically just went in and just finished his job off it. But it's a video. I don't know if you got a video with Biden back with COVID. When he was wearing the mask, he was talking about how Maduro was a tyrant and all that. He was a bad person and all that. So it's been going on since the Biden administration. So what Trump just did, Trump pretty much like what he said he gonna do it. He went there and got him. It's supposed to be because of the drugs. We know there's other stuff involved, but yeah, I got no problem with it, man. I'm like, my thing is politics. All these presidents do it. It's just Trump just more vocal. That's the only thing about Trump. He just got a big mouth, and it seems like he's this other thing, but he just like them. He just more vocal. Everybody, the rest of them, they do it more in secret. They do it behind closed doors and stuff. So yeah, ain't
Oh
gonna be
yeah,
more stuff coming out. It'll be more stuff coming out. Out of this. You know what I'm saying? I land my plane.
yeah. I think if you now if you don't understand that these people all work together and the game is rigged by now, then you just schedule you a mental health appointment because I don't know. There's nothing else to say to you if you don't understand this by now.
Just like
Well,
Noriega. Noriega worked for the United States. He even said, he's like, y'all, I'm working for y'all, but y'all come out to me because I want to do my own thing. Like pretty much that's what he was saying back in the '80s. So it's
You
like
know,
it's the same
ain't
thing
that
with these
ain't that the
guys.
same thing Osama bin Laden said as well when because
Yep,
he used to be a CIA operative and he said the same thing.
exactly.
And
Yep,
I want to
fact.
say this, like, not trying to be funny. We already know the reason why I linked it to the black men in mass incarceration is because black people are packed into prisons on drug charges, but yet
Every day.
black people are not. I always have said this. We are not flying across the country. That's why I hate that movie American Gangster, because you had one black man that looked up and got a plane, but they act like we're growing poppy seeds and making cocaine and everything in the backyard of the hood in the ghetto. Black men are going to jail, but yet nobody is. being arrested that are growing the cocaine. Places like Venezuela and Cuba and the Afghanistan of the Middle East, they're shipping drugs in via the CIA. Because remember, all the planes, all this money. Remember, the CIA dropped crack and drugs in the black people's neighborhood. So if we're going to talk about war on drugs, this should be a good thing for black people, because it's time for black men not being the only ones being put in prison, because we are just the lower of the totem pole when it's our own government and these presidents and these basically cartels that's pushing the drugs into America, and we are, our black men and black women are basically the foot soldiers, but yet we're the only ones being punished.
And also I think to add to that equation, they haven't stopped dropping things off in our neighborhood. Have we ever questioned how in the world did we get a fentanyl epidemic? How did we start popping pills? How did we
All of
start?
this,
Yeah, all of it.
exactly.
There's the same
All
thing
of
is still
this.
going on.
That's why when black people are talking about, oh, Trump this and Trump that, sometimes you need to shut the F up, because you don't know what's going on in your community. You cannot say moms against drug addicts. You cannot sit up here and have, how is the guns and drugs being dropped in our communities? It's time for y'all to stop thinking like ghetto people and low education people, and stop looking at the news and think beyond the box. Those are getting in your neighborhoods because of people like Nicholas Mardano and all these other
I think we could
cartels.
change his name officially to Niglis.
Yes, to Nicholas. And I want y'all to remember that Obama, I'm gonna show you some stuff. Obama actually went into Libya and got rid of Gaddafi
Yeah,
because
assassinated the man.
they assassinated him, paid his people, because he used NATO. NATO is another organization where the European countries have
He
gotten
brought,
together. That wasn't even an American ran organization. It's American senators and people who have linked up and made their own organizations right under the US government.
and let me say
You
this
What
real
y'all
quick.
what y'all know
I'm
about
just
this one? This happened on Sunday. So while Trump did this thing with Niglis in Venezuela, does anyone know what also took place that same day?
no.
So apparently there was another assassination attempt backed by the former president or wherever he was of Burkina Faso. That also took place on Sunday because we know that France wants Ibrahim Traore dead. They want him
Yep.
unalived. And so
Wow.
they tried to do it while this whole thing was going on with Maduro. They tried again. And I think this is like the 20th time at this point.
Don't talk
Damn.
about when Trump dropped bombs in Nigeria. We just forgot about that. Remember, we said they wanted Nigeria because Nigeria is like the hub of Africa. Well, all this,
Yep.
if you get hold of Nigeria, remember the last show when we was talking about why was it's the one where they sent Nicki Minaj to speak on the Christians being executed in Nigeria. And remember, we said they are both trying to get their hands on Nigeria before uh the what is his name, Burkina Faso, or
Yeah,
what's his
Ibrahim
name,
Traore. Yeah,
Ibrahim
Ibrahim.
Traore does. And then nobody's talking about Trump dropped a couple of bombs in Nigeria and went on his way.
And this is going to be real touchy, what I'm about to say, but I got to say the truth. I got to say it, y'all. So I don't know if anybody, maybe I'm nuts, but online, it's it. I saw that the diaspora wars was at a fever pitch, where it was now we got Africans going in on Africans. We got FBA versus the whole diaspora. And then we got the latest one is FBA versus the Pan Africanists saying Pan Africanism is dead. And now we got it looks like a new one brewing, which is the Nation of Islam versus the New Nation of Islam. And then so this guy, I know he puts a security memorandum. Remember,
I didn't.
we always talk about the
What happened?
NSMM, the one they use for the rainbow and all that. So this one was called
Hey, Pablo,
National
y'all said
Security.
you. Pablo
Yeah.
said it. So you was in the matrix, man. Can everybody hear
Oh,
each
Oh,
other?
we can
You
hear
let me
him.
back
I can
let, let
hear
me
him.
back it up.
I can
Let
hear
me
okay,
him.
back it
bet.
up. So this thing was the FBA thing was at a fever pitch online. As you know, I was I was in and out with FBA. I was around when it was FBA versus ADOS. I happened to have been ADOS at the time. So we all this stuff is going online, and there's all these black people versus each other going. I mean, going hard at each other. These Negroes sit on chat rooms on all the social media apps, going in on each other all day. And so this guy, I know he dropped this NSM. So we know NSM 2000 was the one where Henry Kissinger apparently prescribed the rainbow to keep our numbers down. So this one is called NSM, National Security Memorandum 46. And in this memorandum, it literally detailed how they need to keep us at odds with each other, especially those of us who are revolutionary and in groups. They wanted us not to associate in America with each other that were revolutionary groups. That's how you got us versus the Black Panther Party. That's probably how you got the BLA splitting from the Black Panther Party and all these different things, and blood got spilled over it. And they do the same thing with us in America versus the Jamaicans, the Caribbeans, those in any African country. Take your pick, but it's specifically seeming to focus on all the African countries who were using or involved in BRICS. And so we put it up and we had a discussion, and he was like, yeah, NSM 46, can you not see what's going on, how they turned us against each other? Then all of a sudden, out of the clear blue, boom, Trump's in Nigeria.
Exactly.
That's
And
deep.
then from there, I mean, now he captured. I think Trump is just being led, but the Venezuelan Nicholas Maduro, how you say it, Maduro, Nicholas
Nicholas Maduro.
Nicholas, he
Maduro's a
yeah, you
cigar
know
too,
that
so
Trump
yeah.
put out a warrant on him back in the 2020. This wasn't, see, people are forgetting that when Trump first came out, he was talking about the war on drugs. He was talking about the immigrants. He was talking about these people taking black jobs and stuff like that. So I'ma just put him to the side a little bit. He has to do what he has to do to please the cabinet people. That's why Trump
Yep.
dropped a little bombs on Nigeria, did something, sit Nicki Minaj, but you ain't heard really, you ain't heard the rest of them say much about what's
Facts.
going on. Trump, yeah, he
Politics.
wants to
Yeah,
rule that oil.
Nigeria, him going out to Nigeria is very strategic. I think most people probably don't know how strategic that was.
Yes,
And in that conversation, I told him this. I said, now, how do we as Black American, whether you want to be foundational freedmen, whatever label you want to use, how do we not see that what they just did to Nicolas Maduro, what Obama did to Muammar Gaddafi, they do that to us and our leaders here as citizens every single day. It's like it ain't nothing anymore. It happens so
exactly,
much.
exactly. But the
Malcolm X,
thing
you
about
could take
Nicholas,
Malcolm X and
Trump
put
put out
Malcolm
a
X in the
warrant.
place of Gaddafi. It's the same story. They
Yeah,
literally did the same thing to Malcolm X.
the difference with Nicholas is he, if you see the thumbnail, he was brought in dignified, him and his wife in handcuffs. They didn't blow him up. This is how Gaddafi ended his life. Right
And
after this
Gaddafi,
happened,
what was Gaddafi's great sin? His great sin was that he had produced a currency that was going to unify most of the African countries and also us with them. We were all supposed to be using that currency because he gave some to Farrakhan, and that was
yeah,
his death
look
warrant
at
right there.
he was all in the White House. Gaddafi had been visiting the White House. Nicholas never came over here. He was
Nope.
basically a straight up cartel who was not the real president. I don't know if y'all know that, but he was not the real president. Back then, when the president was elected, him and his cartel took over just like they took over Mexico.
Wow. And
You didn't know that?
didn't Gaddafi call Obama a brother or something like that? Like they
Yeah,
was real
look,
on
look
friendly
at the
terms.
pictures right here. I'm showing them. Him and Gaddafi was sitting together. They shook hands. And then right after this, they unalived him. And I don't know if y'all know it, but I'm trying to read it. Let me see.
That's some
And
wild work
before you,
right there.
and before you read it, if you Google it, they'll say you say that Trump, they'll say Biden. I mean, the Obama have Gaddafi assassinated. They're like he didn't initially, get he basically started off of it. It wasn't his plan, but
It
of
wasn't
course,
his
yeah,
plan, but
Hillary
he
Clinton,
linked
yeah,
up with
he linked
NATO.
up
If you, I'm
exactly.
putting it in here. I don't know if this is it because I can't read it. I'm on my phone,
We,
Lord.
we want to make sure we give y'all the good right information because I know y'all a lot of Obama fan base in here be mad as
But
hell.
I want,
Talking about
but
that
if
boy.
you read this, y'all gonna have to pause to read. I don't know if I'm showing the war on drugs, or I think I'm showing what happened with Gaddafi. Oh no, I'm reading. I'm putting the wrong ones. Yeah, Muammar Gaddafi, if you read it, this is just some history on what happened with him. Hold on, let me see if I can. Can y'all still hear me? Can y'all hear
Yeah,
me?
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
Okay, Muammar Gaddafi. He was in October 2011 in his hometown. That's when they attacked him. They said that Obama basically linked up with NATO, and they found him hiding in the drainage. Do you know they sodomized him, beat him, and killed him? They sodomized him with a baton. All that was filmed. Do you
They
know
made a
that?
mockery of him. They made a mockery of him.
Wow.
You know,
Yes.
and I think leading up before he was found
I'm
in that
trying to find.
drain, was he not going on state TV and making statements and basically telling why he was being done like this?
Yes. Yes. They yes. They said after after all this happened, they said the rebels, they were paid to do this. They were brandishing his golden gun. They said the Human Rights Watch called for independence investigating, citing potential extrajudicial killing and war crimes at his death. The same way they trying to say Trump. That he initially died from his wounds afterwards, but the rebellion and NATO intervention in March 2011, a rebellion against Gaddafi 42-year rule, escalated, prompting a UN-backed NATO airstrike. I thought I had it on here with Obama was part of them, but either which way,
Yeah, I remember
you
that
can Google
he
it.
did, like, they launched those airstrikes and they were neutralizing his forces. And while this was
Yeah,
going on, he was trying to do a press run to tell the truth about what Obama and NATO were doing.
yes, because he was trying to. I was trying to play. I don't know if I can do it. Let me see if I can share my screen. It don't let me. I want y'all to go look up Killer Mike. Killer Mike, I had it on video, but it's saying my file is too large. He was talking about how Gaddafi was trying to make a one Africa currency with the gold. It would have been one currency for all of Africa to use. If you look right
Oh yeah, I
here, most
remember
of
Killer
his
Mike did
people,
say that.
yes, most of his people had free education, health care, free housing. They were not struggling. We only get that Gaddafi was doing all this bad stuff to his people, but yet, if that happened, then how come his city looked at newer than most of the African cities that they have used his money since then and built up? But his city was not poor. They were not struggling. They were being taken care of. And now look at it afterwards. Those people, after Obama and them went in there and bombed it because he was the president, they left the people. They didn't put nobody else in charge. And every one of those citizens that they claimed they went to go save are now being enslaved by them sand Negroes, are now being
Yep.
enslaved by those Afghanistan people and the people in Dubai. Y'all see those people, they're being sold into slavery. So
Yeah,
you
and traffic.
Right.
idolize the leader for so that he would not unite Africa and have their own money, which is why BRICS is trying to do what it's doing now. So every time African countries stand up to try to make their own currency, the United States somehow reaches in there and does something so that they can control the currency because the millionaires want to stay the billionaires want to stay billionaires. That's all this is about. That's all it's about because of the difference with Obama and Trump. Trump is going after Venezuela because he did say the war on drugs, but also, do you know that Venezuela has the world's largest oil reserve?
Yep. It's a two for one. Two for one.
Exactly. I don't know what happened to my layout, but it is a two for one. And hold on, I'm trying to find this layout. It's crazy. Either which way, is Pablo still there? No, he disappeared on us.
That
Well,
Pablo.
I think everybody did. I couldn't see anybody else.
Yeah, I'm
I
here.
know.
Okay.
But the thing is, like I said, it's a two for one. And it's like I say, it's politics. You know that he got his own personal reason going now. Then the guys, his gatekeepers, and all these other people that really control the government. It might be for that oil, as everybody say. You know what I'm saying? But I try to
Yeah,
tell
they
people,
say it's for the oil, but really, our black people, we don't see a win as a win with us. We complain that
exactly.
our black men are being mass incarcerated. We blame our black men for selling drugs, but our black men need to stop being tricked, because how are you getting your hands on cocaine to make the crack? How are you getting your hands on all this weed? It's not being grown here in America. It's being brought in by people like what Trump just captured, Nicholas.
Yeah,
And you're the only people who have been punished from this war on drugs are black people. We are the end of the totem pole. The CIA, it is written that they've been getting rich. That's how they were able to drop it in our neighborhoods. Black people didn't just think of, let me get cocaine and then create crack. That was handed down to us. We
yep,
not trying to be funny. Most black people didn't do hard drugs like that.
exactly.
So I want
And,
y'all to read. I'm
and
trying to read the statistics of, I don't know if this is number one. I'm gonna put it up here. Hold
okay, I see
on.
the screen popping up.
Can you see it?
Well, I see the screen. I'm on the phone, but I can see it, but I can't zoom on it because I ain't got my
Okay.
glasses.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't zoom on it neither. But what I'm gonna do is read, and I might not be in order, but it's talking about how more black people, the citizen disparities, and black men are often receive longer sentences, while white men
you breaking up
for the
again.
same, huh? White men for the same
You were going
sentences
out, but you didn't.
are usually sentence, basically historical policies such as 100 to 1 citizen disparities between crack and cocaine have been documented and concentrated to impact black communities. Nearly 80% of people in federal prison and 60% in state prisons are black. But we're not the ones bringing drugs. We can say Latinos, y'all have the Mexican cartel. Y'all grow that in your countries. Venezuela is a Latino place. Y'all grow these things, and black people is being dumped in our community, and we're the only ones have been punished. So I don't feel sorry when they go get these cartels, because these cartels and these people, they come in our neighborhoods and they don't help us. We are basically, the system of mass incarceration is coming from a lot of this that has been happening to black communities.
Yep. But see, but like somebody said before, black people never really had organized crime. See, the mafia, which is
No.
the Italians, and then the other group, Irish, and all the other, even the Saudis, and like I said, got a cartel with the Mexicans. We don't have no organized crime. That's why they can get over on us like that, because we're not an organized people, unfortunately. This is what it is.
Yeah,
That's why, yeah, they can use
I
us
think
and
this
stuff.
is what I have up. Targeted enforcement. Law enforcement has historically focused more on drug activities in lower income urban communities, which are often disparately black, and they say Latino, but rather than evenly across all demographics. Systemic factors, policies like the war on drugs since the 1970s and 80s led to harsh sentencing, crack versus powdered cocaine disparities that impacted black communities. Supply and demand, while drugs may either enter the US through various channels, including Venezuela, incarcerated disparities are more directly tied to domestic policy, policing, sentencing laws, socioeconomic equities than the origin of the drugs itself. So basically, black people, we have been being played in the middle. And then when the white people need more toys to play with, they'll get rid of they'll leave us, and then act like they're trying to fight to help America. It say the number of black men incarcerated for drug offenses in the US, it significantly reflects long-standing racial disparities. And I'm reading that because this is what they claim that they got this man for, right? And I want y'all to understand that this is affecting your communities. You cannot say you want the drugs and gang members out of your communities and you don't want to tell the truth about what's going on. I can't read everything right now because I don't know what happened to my screen.
Yeah, but
But
that's deep though. Man. It's good to have information too. You know what I'm saying? You need that information so you know what's really going on.
yes.
Like I said, we're
And
not
then
organized, so it's gonna always continue to be like that. You got it.
yeah, I'm showing you the scale right there. If I'm not mistaken, on this scale that you're looking on the graph that you're looking at that I was pulling up, you're gonna see the small is like the American Indians. Latino, they're mostly in the green. Um, the black is they saying black people is a lesser population than the Latinos, but yet we are mostly incarcerated in correctional facilities. Like white is in the orange and they showing how high population they are. But yet, if black people are 13% of the population, how come we're 41% put in correctional facilities and we don't own anything? We don't own the airlines. We don't own the airplanes. We don't own the poppy seeds to make the cocaine. We don't own the fields that make the marijuana. And when white people are not being punished, we're being punished. And when they can't keep hiding the truth about marijuana, they find a way to sweep it under the rug and make it look lily and pretty for them. And so now they got the drug factories and all the factories that the dispensaries that they gave themselves licenses for, while black people are still being put in prison for the same thing over and over again. And I want black people to open up your minds and your open up your mind and find out and really ask yourself what is going on. What is the problem? The problem is that we are being played. We are pawn in everybody's game. And I wanted to say this with um the Nicholas situation. The Democrats are trying to paint the picture that, oh, this is wrong. The country is mad and upset. And
Facts.
then you have a lot of people praising in the streets for support for what Trump did. Let me play this video. Yard is tripping. It was only playing on one, but that was showing that they took down his statue and pulled it because he made himself president. He wasn't the elected president. He was a bully and he put himself in office. Now these are the people that's against the US um taking him and wanting his want
Venezuela con Nicolás, Venezuela con Nicolás. Los mensajes que nos manda el presidente Maduro. Nosotros no queremos que nos impongan un gobierno yanqui. Nosotros somos libres y soberanos. Nosotros somos un pueblo con garantías en la Constitución bolivariana. Somos un pueblo libre, libre y soberano. Donald Trump no se va a quedar con nuestro petróleo. Rubio no nos va a gobernar. Nosotros tenemos un presidente y una vicepresidenta que asume por ahora, pero nuestro presidente es Nicolás Maduro.
Yes, for
now.
fair use, guys. Fair use.
I already did that. With I want y'all to realize the two different crowds: the one that supported him and the one that didn't support him. The ones that didn't support him, they were in the streets. The crowd is bigger. The last one I just played, the ones that supported him, noticed that they all carrying guns. You don't see a lot of them. That's why they're doing close-up pictures so you can't see that it's a small crowd. And it's probably his family and friends that's been helping him run that country under the car. It's probably other cartel members.
Yeah,
But
that's interesting.
if you look at it and analyze it, you notice that them women they carrying around machine guns and this and that. And I know remember when I told y'all with my cleaning business, when I keep saying the immigrants and the Mexicans, I mean the immigrants, and we keep saying the Latinos, I don't know if y'all realize the Latinos are Venezuelans that's been running from over there and coming over here, taking our jobs and basically getting as many benefits. Because when we keep talking about immigrants, we don't label the immigrants for who they are. Remember, we said they were coming from Turkey and Venezuela, and they coming over here and they're getting all those benefits. Well, they were coming from Venezuela. They're filled up in Miami and in Florida. So when we think of Latinos, we think of Mexicans coming over the border. No, these people been running from their country, and we've been giving them food stamps, Section 8, and free housing too, to the point where they can afford the prices to live in Florida. They taking almost all the, I run a cleaner business. That's something that black people can do, but they're taking a lot of jobs.
All facts.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Loud
we
and
hear you.
clear.
Okay. So that was just my take on everything. I want black people to open up their ears and stop crying and stop being mad. I mean, I just seen so many black people online fussing at Trump. Um, did this and need to stay out of other countries' business and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, most of us, we need to get education on politics and understand how these countries, the immigrants coming in here taking our benefits, the Somalians, they're living off of benefits and nobody cares.
Facts.
And they got together and took over a whole Minnesota. And now you see Tim Walz stepping down. If
Yep.
Kamala
Yep. He stepped
Yep.
down. Yep. Nobody want to talk about that. Yep. He
Yeah.
do.
If
They come
Kamala
after his
would have
ass.
became president, they would because Kamala is an immigrant. She might have been
Facts.
born here and stuff, but her background is immigrants.
Exactly.
And,
And you're right though.
and
I don't know about black people. So, Ty, you can finish. You go. Keep going.
no,
You
no, no.
cooking.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, I'm just saying. I'm just so sick and tired of black people worrying about everybody else. They always worry about what's going on. They hate a man so much. They didn't even worry about what's going on in our community. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's crazy to me. I don't get it. You got it.
Yeah, no, I was just saying how the things that I mean that Trump has been putting in place, these are power moves for black people, and you need to open your eyes and stop getting on a bandwagon with these Democrats who want to say billionaires because white people on the Republican side has switched with a money flow from the Democrat side. They're both two wings on the same bird. They're just flipping on how the money is flown. And Trump gives them little trinkets to prove he's racist by taking away the Martin Luther King free barbecues in the park. But at the end of the day, he's taking away more to give you more freedom and you don't realize it. When you get a lot of these immigrants out, we've been named the poster child of welfare, food stamps, and look at there, the Somalians is there. White people in America has to shut the F up and look around. Your racism is being played in your face by the billionaires. And I land my plane. Anybody there?
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah, I'm there. I was checking on my
Oh.
food. But yeah, you're right.
No.
You cooking tonight. And I'm glad you brought the receipts because we need receipts. Our people they get caught up in their feelings. They just go out whatever social media tell them. That's why I kind of like step back on a lot of stuff because black people because they hate this guy so much. And I told everybody, I'm gonna say it again. It doesn't matter because he got 3 years left. When his 3 years is up, guess what? They're gonna find another boogeyman. They always gonna have to find somebody. The Democrats good about finding
Exactly.
somebody, and black people still falling for it. And any black person falling for it is just stupid. I'm sorry. I gotta keep it real.
Yeah.
Like we past the point now. All this the same old stuff we've been talking about for decades and stuff because you don't have no power, you're not organized, you don't have no kind of structure. So that's why it's so easy to pull the wool over our eyes because we're not organized. Like I said earlier, we don't even have organized crime. And not just that, that in all the communities, all the so-called black communities in America, you don't even control your stores. You don't have no grocery stores, nothing. Other groups come in here and set up shop.
These immigrants do. These
Yep,
immigrants got grocery stores, bus stations, telephone, cell phone, repair shops, and everything. How do you think they're getting that money? You think that they leaving their rundown countries where they didn't
yep.
march, they didn't bled, they weren't lynched or nothing to come over here and they're taking your benefits, like Trump said, not just your jobs, but your benefits.
Facts. And that's what I'm saying. These black politicians on the local, let's go to the local level, because I deal on local level. Now, all these black Democrats on a local level, especially in major cities like Atlanta, most of your black cities. But I'm just saying, you should be pushing, like, for instance, I'm trying, like, when I campaign for somebody, when you help campaign, somebody should ask, okay, what are black people getting out of this? Are we gonna bring in black contractors? Are we gonna bring in black businesses? Or what we doing? You know what I'm saying? Or we just try to get you an offer because you black. Just being black don't do it. We need to make sure we get these contracts. We gotta make sure that, like, all these jobs the Mexicans got doing the roads and the sidewalks. We need to make sure our people get that type of stuff. That's what Marion Jackson did back in Atlanta, back in the '70s, and we need to do that. Like, I ain't gonna lie, he, even though he was tied in with the boule and stuff, he at least was making sure that his people got those contracts, and a lot of them black businesses. How black came up what it came to be because of him. He kind of went off script. You know what I'm saying? But he like, damn that I'm in a position. I'll make sure that my people get these contracts and we control what's going on here. But we gotta get back to that because we actually going backwards. We're not going forward. We gotta stop
Exactly.
making excuses as a people. I land my plane.
And right, and then what we need to call it is that these are not just contracts, but they're jobs. Not just jobs, they're small businesses.
Facts.
Imagine you got to go to work 8 hours a day for somebody, but imagine you work 8 hours a day for yourself. There is less stress. We are under mental health stress. We are under being paid low wages. Why are you working for a company that's owned by Latinos and white people when your people invented these jobs?
Is that? Let
We
me say something real quick. But I'm glad you
yeah.
mentioned that. They always talk about people are lazy. They don't want to work these jobs. Damn right. I want to look. Why the hell you gonna work a job they're paying you? We man, everything's going up. Like here in Atlanta, man, it's like the some of these houses and stuff in the apartments so high, you can't pay nobody no $18, $20 an hour. They gotta make more than that. And yeah, you can bring the legal immigrants over. Yeah, it's 10 people in the house, and plus they send their money back to their homeland, and they stack up here. This guy told
Thank
me.
you.
This guy told me. He told me the other day. He said, "Man, I was at the grocery. He's out at the store, and I was behind this Mexican dude. The dude was short. This guy, he tall brother. He said, I was trying to be nosy. No, he said that he was at the DMV. He said, I was behind this guy. The Mexican dude was on his phone. I guess he was looking at his bank account. He's on his bank account online. He said he happened to look at the dude account that had 50 grand. Now, he ain't trying to be in somebody's business, but like this dude got 50 grand in his damn account. And like you say, and I'm pretty sure he's a business owner or something like that. And he probably got a loan for no problem and stuff like that. I'm like, these guys are they have a lot of money because they're able to come in here and don't have to go through all the paperwork and all this other stuff we had to go through. Got to have good credit and all this crazy, No, they don't have to do all that. That's why somebody got to get people in office so we can them type of laws we can kind of like get rid of because and to get our people get banks and stuff. We need to get our own banks so we can get our own loans to our own people. You know what I'm saying? I know even though the system is controlled, the banking system is controlled by white people, we still can have our own banks, man, because we're gonna have to do something or we're gonna keep on talking about the same old thing 50 years from now. I like my plane.
I mean, you're right. And that's what I'm saying. We don't think like a community. Our people want to, our young people are so desperate. They are unaliving each other, getting money, and to look rich instead of being rich, instead of making sacrifices. Now, one thing these immigrants is doing,
Facts.
they swimming across oceans. They're doing any and everything to get money to send back to their country. They're in your face. They doing the damn thing. They in our faces building businesses, doing whatever they got to do to survive. You know what we doing? We robbing each other. We working like dogs. We doing everything to show each other I'm not poor. I ain't like what
Yep.
NASA said. I'm wearing this designer label. Look at me. I got my money to my head like I'm
Preach.
wearing like a cell phone. We have become ignorant and dumb.
They don't want to talk about that. Taking these big vacations. There's nothing wrong with taking vacations, but have these jokers maxing out credit cards. They, like you said, they buy designer clothes and stuff. Cars they getting taken. The cars they getting repoed and stuff like that. We still, if you look at the medium of the wealth gap, we're still at the bottom. I don't care how you slicing and dice. I don't care if it's Atlanta, Chicago, or Maryland, but black people doing good. It don't matter. As a whole, as a collective group, you don't have any wealth. Dr. Clark hasn't been telling this over 60 years. You don't have any wealth. You don't have no capital. You don't control no resources. Stop acting like you got it like that. You don't. Yeah, we got a lot of educated black people and jokers making six figures or more. That's cool, but as individuals, not as a collective group, nobody respects black people at all. They don't because they know we're not organized. We don't have no kind of real foundation. Yeah, we got a thing we doing with FBA, but we got to take it to the next level. Like I said before, I land my plane.
I mean, you're right. And I mean, and I don't knock the vacation because a lot of our black people, because I take my vacations, I work and I'm gonna spend money, but
Oh no,
but it's
no,
like
no, there ain't nothing wrong
we
with you.
no, we gotta
But
have
you plan
balance. We
but you
gotta
plan
have
your
balance.
vacations though. Yeah, you plan them out though the right way. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta have balance because without balance, it's not like, hey, we out here, we bought land, I done spent my money, we done spent our money on land, and we ready to have a vacation. That's fine if you doing it because the moves that we making, hey, we can build family compounds, we could do something with it. Imagine if everybody black did that because I don't wear designer labels. I don't get my hair done every week just to go post a picture to make myself look like massa is not beating my head, beating my heart in every day. I'm not weighing money. I'm not putting money up to my ear to make it look like I'm not suffering when I admit that the black race is suffering. We suffering like hell and we need to stop pretending. So
All facts.
I'm not with all that. I'm with black people who want to do something in life. I'm with
Yeah.
black people who I don't wear designer labels. I had a cousin one time. She was saying if she got her lawsuit, she was gonna buy me some red bottom shoes. They 3,000. What the fuck? I need
What?
$3,000 shoes in my $200 closet. I don't
Exactly.
need
And,
it.
Birkin bags 20, 30,000. That is crazy, man. And
Exactly.
you know what's funny though? I know we about to get about it here, but Gucci. I saw the house of Gucci with Lady Gaga 2 weeks ago. I didn't even know that Gucci don't even the family don't even own Gucci anymore. It's some investors that bought it a long time ago because all the family members are gone now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we up here paying for something. These people ain't even living anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like Louis Vuitton, all them we know about Louis Vuitton. They used to make suits for the Hitler's stormtroopers. You know what I'm saying? And we it's just amazing. But we learn history about we wear stuff we don't even know the history of it. I land my plane.
No, and it's fine. We just and back to the politics that we talking about with the Venezuelan president, the self-appointed president, because you need to know history. What
Yep.
he did was wrong. They have black people so much into God and church that every time something bad happened, we always opinion. God don't like that. Or we ready. Our excuse to get involved in everybody else's politics is that God said it's wrong. But yet God don't say nothing about the way you being treated. Why God always silent while you out here struggling?
Exactly. We all one with kumbaya and all that BS. Nah, we ain't with that no more. That's their problem.
Yeah.
Them people celebrating over there. I'm seeing it all over the damn internet. Them people are celebrating. I know a friend of mine. He said he got a partner, Venezuela partner. He said, "Man, look, my mom's still out there. They love it. They glad the dude gone. So they even
Yes.
holding up the American flag too. Like, thank you, Mr. Trump. So I'm like, somebody telling the truth.
That
I'm like,
that's
come
why
on
they
now.
that's why Venezuelans are immigrants. I mean, was running over here for refuge or piled up in Miami, getting jobs and working and doing. They were running away from that. They were running away from the cartel.
And remember that what's that name? Trade the I can never get it. I did a podcast on them. That ruthless gang in Venezuela. Trade the Lano,
Yeah,
trade
I
the
forgot.
them just
Yeah, true.
they are hardcore. He let a lot of them come over to America. He opened the prisons. That's a fact, and
Yeah.
he let all them go out over there
Because
to
Obama
America.
them had the border open
Yep,
for them to come
exactly.
here. And why would they
And-
need to come here? They need
and-
to come here so they can bring the drugs to give to our black people to sell
yep,
to each other and sell
and-
to other white people on the streets.
yep,
And the only person being hurt is the black communities, and the only people
exactly.
being packed in prisons is black men, while
And
everybody else getting their rocks off in comfortability.
exactly that same gang, Trader Waggle or whatever the hell they name it. They out of Venezuela. When they went to Chicago, they damn near took Chicago, Southside Chicago. Oh, we call it under siege. They damn near took the whole thing under siege and shit. The black gangs had to pretty much kind of get together and stuff.
But
Yeah,
a black
them
person to
guys.
be ready to shoot and kill each other, talking about disrespect in a minute. Y'all don't even understand what disrespect is.
Exactly. These guys cutting people heads off and stuff. So that's the fact. So it's like He sent all his people over. Yeah, nobody. It's funny nobody really talk about that.
They out here
Yeah,
marrying the foreign looking women and stuff, replacing their children, replacing their race, and don't even know it. While you being put in jail, with being put packed in
yeah,
prisons
and
over
that's
the
another
silly
top.
things.
And that's another topic by itself right there. You right though.
Yeah, because that's what I want black people to stop it. Stop trying to get the higher horse all the time. It's time to get low because that's where they got you at. You out here trying to make money to buy luxury bags and stuff. The rest of these countries coming over here so they can sell you those fake luxury bags and sell you the drugs, and you think you don't got to come up. You you buying from somebody who got a connect. I got my connect. Your connect is coming from another country. How
Exactly.
if their country was so good, they wouldn't be coming over here getting your benefit. They're coming from other countries, setting up black men to sell drugs in your neighborhoods, and then the white cops, the majority of white cops, are set up to come in there to have a reason to raid your neighborhoods, put you in prison, and then when you get in prison, they not separating y'all in the population. A lot of black people are dying in prison for stupid stuff. Half of them ain't murderers and killers. Y'all selling drugs, but y'all are in there with murderers and killers and
Yeah.
rapists.
Yep. Yep.
We being played. Let these people do what they want to do. We did. It was a point where, and then when Trump say the jobs, no, these was our businesses that these immigrants took. We had the lawn business.
Exactly.
We had the
Exactly.
concrete businesses. We
Yep.
built the White House. We had the carpenter businesses.
Yep.
We had
That's
these businesses. We were the scientists and stuff. We need to take our not jobs back, but our businesses back.
exactly. Yep. Yeah.
There is no reason why Mexicans should be up and down. You should not be driving through neighborhoods when people who don't look like you are in the neighborhoods, and then they got us in the ghettos where
look,
these
look. I'm.
houses have not been remodeled for nothing. And they got y'all with a white man mindset where you think you too good to be sweating, you too good to be in the sun because you don't want to get dark, you too good to do anything. Y'all living in the hood, running around with white men designer labels on and don't own shit.
Exactly. You know, one thing I could say too before we get out of here, like if I'm at the Airbnb still. This whole neighborhood is Mexican. Look, they got they Mexican flags all on their damn house, but they in America though. You're a proud America, but you got a Mexican flag. And another thing is, you see them, they women, be looking like models on top of the roof, putting roofs on there, doing landscaping and stuff. Like you said, we got to come together. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a lot of this. So it's like I ain't trying to get nasty and stuff. But like you said, you can't be, and it's for the men too. You can't like you too good to get dirty because them people gonna continue taking these jobs from us. You know what I'm saying? And my thing, but I ain't telling us not to take. Don't work for less. Hell no. Know your worth. That's more. That's gonna be more of a. That's more on the politics side because to get minimum wage up, they just that's what they're doing now. Now you got AI, so now they like, well, shit, we finna pay all these people money. We can just bring the robots and artificial intelligence in here, but they're gonna still have those immigrants
Because
still
minimum
working.
wage is for workers. They know most black people
Exactly.
are going to do the jobs. So when minimum wage is $7, and I turn around and the cost of living needs to be $25 an hour, but we don't raise minimum wage.
Exactly.
So then I pay you $20 an hour, and you think you done made some money, but you ain't,
Exactly.
because the cost of
Fact.
living needs to be $25 an hour.
Yep, 25, even $30 an hour. Yeah, we really had a real cost of living raise in a long time in this
They
country.
not
And I don't
gonna
know
do it
why.
because black people are obsessed with selling drugs, selling themselves out, getting a $20 an hour don't do shit. That's because you
Facts.
can't pay your rent, your car note, food, and your clothes all with $20 an hour. That's why they won't raise minimum wage. It's a mind game.
Yep, you said it. Cooking, boy. They don't like this. Both probably didn't cut us off yet. God damn it.
I know it's too good,
But
but
yeah, you
we
cooked
can
enough
we
tonight.
can wrap this up. And I want y'all black people to think about it. These people, these cartels in other countries are coming to give you work. They're not giving you the hookup. That's not a good connect. They in here making you run around and take the penitentiary chances, selling all these drugs, and and then your CIA. Your government officials that's in on it. Remember that plane that was owned by one of these government officials, owned by the CIA, was filled of, they always finding drugs and shipment containers. Y'all don't own no shipment containers, bringing in drugs and stuff. Y'all are being played to sell drugs on your street to make other countries rich and make the billionaires here in America rich. And then when they turn around, they throw you in prison. And I land my plane.
And that's a wrap. Yeah, I can't come behind that one. So make sure y'all check us out, hit the subscribe button, share, like all that good stuff. And make sure y'all do your own research too, y'all. Don't believe everything they tell you on TV and social media. Because most people, you can say the world from the end on Friday at 1 p.m. and y'all believe it and go into panic without even researching anything because
Exactly.
people don't think for themselves no more. But anyway, that's it. We out, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.